Alright, so I'm going to try and run through this as good as I can, man. I have no editing skills, so if this seems kind of scuffed, that's because it is very scuffed. I'm basically going to run over a lot of what these YouTubers run over, man. I see a lot of, like, how to aim better and shit like that, tips and tricks, blah, blah, blah. And they suck dick. Like, all of them suck dick. Even the ones the pros make are fucking terrible. So I thought I'd try and make one. Not a lot of people are going to see this, so if you see this, you're all exclusive, baby. Alright, you're gonna know shit that like 1% of people that play the game know. So congratulations, man. I'm just kidding, of course, but so the first thing, sensitivity, I'm not gonna make a big segment on this. 5.5 to 8 or 5.5 to 7.7 1 times ADS or 6.6 to 8.8 0.75 ADS. So those would be the only sensitivities I really recommend. You can play at 0.5s like and shit like that, I guess. I'm just giving you what you're going to be playing, or what a great sensitivity is for people playing it, you know, like up to their potential, I would say. So if you're playing on a 10-10 sensitivity, like, you're not playing up to your potential. You don't need that high of a sensitivity ever, unless there's just someone behind you and you want to turn on them. But even then, it's not that great. Like, that's not a reason to have a high sense, so if you're positioning yourself correctly on the map, that shouldn't be happening a whole lot. But anyway, that's that. Another thing everybody goes over, your centering, okay? Basically, always being ready for the gunfight before it ever happens. Okay, so let me try and get in the position here. Say I expect somebody to be in this doorway. I don't want to sprint and aim right here and then look at the doorway, right? I want to come around the corner aiming at the doorway. You understand what I'm saying? I hope so, dude, because I can't explain it much better than that. You just want to aim around the map and aim at the angles before, whether you know someone's going to be there or not. Just aim somewhere on the map where it would make sense where an enemy would be. The more you play the game, the more you learn the maps, the better you're going to get at this. It's not something you really have to think about all that much, maybe unless you've just built a really bad habit on, you know, your centering. And, like, you have a bunch of shitty habits learned. But other than that, you're going to learn how to center no matter what you do. So what's very important about centering is you can mix it with cammering. Cammering is basically, like, if you watch CS or something along those lines, it's basically peeker's advantage. My back, if I even try this. I know a guy's back here, right? I know he's probably pre-aiming right here. So what I do, I slide all the way out here, and I center correctly. So if... Please don't kill me, man. It might be easier to do with no bots, no cap. Okay, so you slide out, you know he's in the corner. He's pre-aiming right here. You're standing right here. So he has to adjust his aim. On top of that, you see him before he sees you. Especially because you came around the corner so fast, even if you saw each other at the same time. He wouldn't have time to react and shoot you. So what I'm trying to describe to you is basically a peeker's advantage. And mixing it with your slide and good centering. Okay? And that's how you camera in this game. So now say, instead of when you expect a guy to be at the end of the doorway, when you expect a guy to be right here, okay? You don't come around the corner like this. You don't come around the corner aiming at it, just standing up. You slide around the corner. My centering was that there. You slide around the corner. And you have an even bigger advantage in that gunfight than you would if you didn't slide. But of course, if your centering is really bad, you might slide and you might aim like this. You might be aiming in bumfuck nowhere like I did the first time. But the more you practice this is the most important skill in the game. Period. In this particular Call of Duty, that is the most important thing you can do to win gunfights, at least against, like, really good players. Okay, so just like that. That's only one camera, though. There are 3 of them. And I will try and knock these out as fast as possible. The other one is the snake slide. It's basically hitting a slide like this, behind a piece of about, I'd say, crouch high cover, or higher. So anything where you're crouching and you can't see in front of you, or higher than that, is something that this applies to. You come behind the piece of cover, you slide, you pop up, and then you shoot. That is a way bigger advantage than this camera I showed you was. Snake cammering is even better for you. It gives you an even better chance to win a gunfight than doing this. Okay? So it is also very important, but you're not going to see this. You're not going to have a situation to snake slide quite as many times as you're just going to have a situation to slide into a doorway and pre-aim something. you're not going to have, you know, this situation. Or you're going to have this situation right here a lot more than you're going to have, you know, a snake slide situation. So that's the best I can describe it to you. The last camera I'm going to show you works best with a SOG, so I'm pulling out a SOG here. Okay. My SOG is ass, by the way. I apologize for any of these terrible shots you are about to see. Like those shots. Okay. So say... Alright, I kind of did it right there just naturally, but please stop shooting at me, bro. So say there's a guy standing right here. He has you pre-aimed right here. Instead of sliding out in the doorway and breaking his pre-aim, because you have a small doorway to work with here, it's not like you can break his pre-aim that hard, you know? All he's going to have to do, worst case scenario, is he's going to have to aim from here to right here. Okay, that's not a big deal. You know, you can still win a gunfight like that. What you want to do, a lot of the time, is you want to sprint around the corner and cut around the wall, like this. So you don't want to sprint like at him and then cut around the wall. You want to come around at an angle so that he can't see you and then snap on him. And what this does is, first of all, it breaks the shit out of his pre-aim. Because you're coming out right here, his aim assist is going to pull to the left, and he's probably going to react to that aim assist and try and stay aiming right here where he'd expect you to be. And all of a sudden, you just cut right around this doorway. And he's not going to expect that. And on top of that, it opens you up to being able to strafe. Like just hit him with the shimmy, you know what I mean? Just fucking shit all over his forehead. Okay? That works really well. That is the easiest camera to do. It requires minimal centering. It doesn't require you to hit a slide button or anything. You know? It's fairly straightforward, simple, and anybody can do that. And it will give you a large advantage in a gunfight. Okay, last thing I really want to go over is your strafe, right? Strafing is something that anybody can do as well. It's super easy. And the more you do it, the better your aim is going to be while doing it. So mainly when you're in a close range gunfight, like this right here, you might want to hit him with the shimmy, you know, back and forth, depending on the situation. Your strafe is very important. So when you're at close range, or mid-range, you want to make yourself as hard as possible for your enemy to hit you. You know, let's just use an open-to-open gunfight as an example. So nobody has any cover, right? I want to hit him with the fastest strafe, the hardest to deal with strafe I possibly can. You know, so like this, I'll try and hit him with the shimmy. You know, the Maddox kind of has like a shitty stock, so it's not really a great example. But hitting him with a solid strafe is important. It's when you get into these long-range gunfights, you do not want to do that. Or these difficult gunfights, these gunfights you struggle with, maybe. The gunfights where your aim might not be up to par to hit, you know, a strafe and be able to still hit your shots. Or a gunfight that you're at a big disadvantage in. You don't want to just strafe. You want to aim with your strafe. You see what I'm saying? So the Maddox is actually a great example of this. If I could die, and I could show you here. Oh my god, Bailey! Bailey, please! Thank you. Okay, dude. So, Maddox is a great example. You shoot a wall. Look what the Maddox recoil does. So to counter that recoil, you have to make a C shape, right? Then you have to cut left on your gun. That's how you counter the recoil. So you can make that C shape. So when you're in a gunfight like this, you can make that C shape, but then as soon as it goes to cut... As soon as the recoil cuts right and you have to counter it by cutting left, instead of using your right stick to do that, just strafe to the left. If you know what I mean. So this is like the only gun. This is probably the hardest recoil in the game to kind of master. But you see what I mean? You want to when you're in those long range gunfights. Wish I could get more of those. So my shot is ass. But see, if you strafe back forth, and you kind of learn the timing of the recoil and how it works, you can completely counter all that left-right recoil just by simply strafing. That is so important, especially with a gun that primarily recoils left to right. Like, you can turn a gun with tons of recoil, but if you learn to control that recoil, then you can basically do anything with that gun at any range. And that's why the Maddox is so good, right? These pros are really good at controlling the recoil, and they can hit pretty much any shot. That's why you see guys like Dashy, you know, say on frequency, he's connector or U or something like that, whatever you call it, and he's challenging elbow. That's how you see him just, like, absolutely destroy people, even on that really hard to win gunfight, is because he's just so good at his centering, his sliding, and overall controlling the recoil on the Maddox. Like those are all the ingredients you really need to master in order to be extremely good at the game as far as your shot goes. So I kind of hope I ran over everything. Like obviously there's weird shit you do like shot punching and shit like that, but I think everybody already knows about that. I think I kind of ran over everything. 10 minutes is a perfectly like reasonable amount of time, I think. So yeah, I might try and edit this video, but I'm probably just gonna release it like this, nice and scuffed. I'm really sorry, but I hope I taught you something new. Hope I taught you something that you can go and you can practice in your games. And overall just help you improve, because trust me, I've seen y'all COD casuals. I've seen your shots, dude, and there's definitely a lot you can do for them. So that's all I'm gonna say. Hope I helped you out, man.